Welcome to the Cougar Connection podcast. I'm Kate Bartholoni, sitting down with November Teacher of the Month, Mrs. Gronewald. Congratulations and thank you for spending some time with me today. Now, since you won last year, we did adjust the questions because they're kind of the same. So how long have you been teaching for?
This is my 8th year at Illini Central, 10th year overall.
Where'd you go before?
I taught in Riverton for a couple years.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Did you always like math, or did you grow up liking a different subject and then you're just like, let's just go be a math teacher?
No, I've always liked math.
Yeah.
There was a time when I thought maybe I wanted to teach like elementary school. I feel like a lot of little girls go through that phase where like, oh, I'm going to be a kindergarten teacher. And then I got older and then realized that little people all day, every day was not my thing. No. And that I would rather teach teenagers, and so I mean, math made sense for me.
Now, we have had COVID sucking up our lives for the past 2 years.
Right.
How has it changed your teaching style?
I think at first it changed everybody's teaching style because we had to do it online. And going online for math is a huge adjustment because so much of it is like me demonstrating, like showing you how to do the problem, which I mean, I can do that over like video, like, you know, on Zoom or whatever, I can do that. But then like when students want me to check their work because they made a mistake, it's so much harder when I can't just look at their paper and point and be like, oh, right there, that's where you made the mistake. So it was a big adjustment to be able to get students to try to like email me and explain what their problem was versus just, I don't know what I did, fix it, you know. So that was a big adjustment. I think it was more trying to get the students to adjust than anything. So over the 2 years of COVID, we didn't get to do a lot of things. What did you miss most that we were able to do before and we're able to do now, but we couldn't do then? I think from my perspective, I like that it is nice to be able to do homecoming week things again. Like the games are fun. But for me, more than anything, I think it was all the field trips. I really like that we're able to bring back all of the field trips, like doing college visits and career visits. Some of those are really cool field trips, like the one where they went and visited the nursing school. Like that is such a cool field trip. And then, you know, to like have the simulators that they can see and to not get to do things like that was kind of a bummer.
I think it might have like made people not know what they want to do because they didn't get to go on those college visits and like they didn't know where they wanted to go. They didn't know what they wanted to do. And so those college visits could have helped them pick where they go, what they do and everything. So
well, in a lot of those visits they talk about things, not just their own college. They talk about like the college admission process and financial aid and scholarships, and you know. And I know like when you go to the ISU visit, they talk about like, even if you don't want to come here, here's things you should look at when you're doing college visits to decide what school's right for you. And so for kids to lose that and not have that information, I think made it harder for some of them, especially if their parents didn't go to college or didn't go to a big college. It made it hard on a lot of kids, I think.
So I'm a big superstition person. So is there anything that you do like on the first day of school, the last day of school, or something that is like you just have to do every single year? Doesn't matter. I don't think, it's not like superstitions. Like I'm not very superstitious. So it's not like I have to wear my lucky socks or anything like that. Like I don't have things like that. But I think that we're all creatures of habit. Like there are things that I do on the first day every year. Just because it makes sense to me. Like the first day is always talking about syllabus and classroom rules and stuff. And like, I feel like I probably should just like record a video and play it because I say the same thing every hour, every year. But it's things that I want to make sure that I get out of the way on the first day to make sure that the kids, they know what I'm expecting and what to expect of me, and like, you know, this is who I am. See, I'm like I'd put my left sock on for my right sock, left shoe, right shoe, like all of that.
No, not to that extent, but like, I don't know. I feel like on the first day of school, some teachers are like more formal and like, this is what I expect, and like come out of the box different than they're necessarily going to be every day. Like they're going to kind of relax a little bit later on. And I try to be like more of who I am on the first day. Like, this is what you're getting. This is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Yeah, like you're not gonna hype it up, and you're not gonna make it seem like what it's less than something.
Right. Like, I know you don't like math. Most people don't like math. I get that. It's fine. But you still got to do it.
Yeah, you have to graduate, so. Right,
you want to graduate, so just do it.
Yeah. How has technology changed from when you first started teaching to now?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I first started teaching, I just had a whiteboard and markers. I didn't have a smart board. If I wanted to project anything, because I did have a projector, if I wanted to project something, we actually had laptops there, big, bulky laptops, because that was a while ago. And I had to take my laptop over, like I had to take it off my desk and move it somewhere else to plug it into the projector, because the cord to the projector didn't reach all the way to my desk. And it was a whole thing, but yeah.
Smart boards are so much easier.
It's so nice. It's so nice having the smart board. And well, and like we didn't have Wi-Fi. My laptop, like I had a laptop, but it had to be plugged into Ethernet. So I couldn't like walk around with it. We didn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They didn't have, like, the kids didn't have Chromebooks, like, nothing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think we'd die without Chromebooks.
Textbooks and pencils and whiteboards. And that's pretty much it.
Yikes. Yeah. So we have a pretty cool class here, the class. But if you could take one class at Atlanta Central, what class would it be and why? And, like, why pick that teacher? Or, like, what made you pick that class?
Oh, see, I told you I didn't prepare for all these questions. This is one I couldn't decide. I took Spanish in high school, and my Spanish teacher was great, but I would really like to take a class with Senora.
Senora's the best.
Yeah, I think I would really enjoy taking one of her classes. But I also think that we offer some really cool things in like the Ag and Industrial Tech.
Yep.
We had Ag and Industrial Tech at my high school, but not like this. Not as many cool electives in those departments as we have here, and I think it would be a lot of fun to take some of those classes.
And Mr. Allen is just a hoot. So like, you could just being in that room for like 5 minutes, you just put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
So. What is it like teaching in a small school? Like, I know my perspective, it's good. I like it. I don't want to be in a big school, too many people. But would you rather, I guess, not would you rather, but like, how is it different from Riverton? Because you came from Riverton.
I did. I taught at Riverton for a couple years, and then I didn't teach for a few years before I came here. So I had a break in between. Yeah. But it's about double the size of here. But because it's like right on the outskirts of Springfield, it has a very different feel. Like, Riverton was about the same size as my high school because I went to Porta. Yeah. But like the feel, like, I don't know, like the culture, I guess, at Porta is so different from the culture at Riverton. Riverton has a more urban feel. It feels more like you're teaching in a Springfield school with smaller numbers than it does like a country culture, you know, like the farming communities. It's not like a farming community. And that's what I grew up with. Like, we had take your tractor to work day and like, or drive your tractor to school. Like during FFA week, there was always a take your tractor to school day. And there were so many tractors in the parking lot. Yeah. And like just that farming community, that's what I grew up with. And I love it. And like when I got out of college, I wanted to teach in a small school. That was always my intention, was to teach in a small school. I didn't even apply in any bigger schools. Like Springfield schools always have job openings. Yeah. I didn't even apply there. I didn't want to work there. I wanted a small school in a farming community, like where hunting and farming is like what people do. Like that's
like first day of deer season, half the school is going to be
right. And it's not like I didn't grow up farming and I don't go hunting, but like it's just the people in those types of communities, even if they don't farm and hunt themselves, the people are different. And that's what I like the culture and like the way those high school kids act is so different. And I like it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love being in a small school. I said multiple times in other podcasts I wouldn't go to a big school if I had the chance. So I love it here at Atlanta Central.
I did my student teaching at a big school at Collinsville High School, and like they had hall monitors that their job was to walk around the hallways and make sure people had passes, and I got stopped by hall monitors even though I was wearing like dress clothes and a little like silver name badge and everything. Like, and you see people you don't even know. The first time I tried to go to the office to get supplies, I got lost.
Oh my God.
Like there are people you never see and you never meet, and like I don't like that. I like knowing my coworkers, and like I know their kids' names and they know my kid, and like my students know my kid. He's running around after school and everybody knows who he is, and like
gotta love Logan.
You know everybody's name in the hallway. You see people doing things and you're like, you know who they are to call them out on it in the hallway, even if they're not in your class. And like I know my students and their family lives, and I know like, oh, I know what's going on at home. I know what's up. Like, it's cool. I get while you're having a bad day. You know, you don't get that in the big schools.
Yeah. Now, once again, congratulations, Miss Gronewald, on your accomplishment, and thank you for taking the time to sit down with me after school today.
Yeah.
Make sure to look out for the next Cougar Connection podcast coming soon to you.